Hey guys, it's Elijah. I haven't done a video in a pretty long time. Sorry I kind of look like shit. For some reason my face is really red. And I'm wearing my pink robe, because I'm manly. And I felt like wearing my fucking pink robe. Um, sorry I got all aggressive with that. Anyway, I haven't done a video in quite a while, but I wanted to shoot one. Because I don't know, I like doing it and felt I kind of wanted to get back into it. But anyway, I figured this video would be good if I still kind of stayed on the whole trans topic. So as of yesterday, I'm 4 months on testosterone. It's been going good. I haven't had any more issues with hitting a vein or bleeding out or doing anything crazy. My voice has changed, of course. I've been getting facial hair, which again I kind of had before, but it's a little bit more defined. Let's see if I could show it. My leg hair, which I'm not sure, again, if you can even see that, but my leg hair, it's gotten a lot crazier. I've had people actually mention, stuff, you know, be like, oh my god, you know, are you gonna grow a beard? And so anyway, it's just kind of funny for me. Anyway, I gotta go to the doctor soon and get my blood tested so that they can tell me how I'm doing. Probably should do that soon. But anyway, other than that, I got an iPad, if you can see it there. My bestest friend gave that to me, which I really appreciate. It's been really cool having one. But anyway, other than that, work's been going good. I might be moving to a new location that's closer to my house, which is cool. As of a couple weeks ago, my brother came for vacation, which was awesome because I kind of got a little mini vacation too, and I got to show him around, and it was just really fun for me to have my family back around for a little while. But anyway, so other than that, that's kind of all the updates on me. There's nothing really changed, I guess. But anyway, so I'm going to, in today's video, besides the little update that I just gave, I'm going to go over things not to say to trans people. Again, when the people at work noted about my facial hair, wasn't that big of a deal to me. But this was a list that I found, and I agreed with most of it, if not all of it, about things that you really shouldn't say to trans people. Because it could come off being extremely offensive, whether you're trying to be or not. So these are things that if you are very curious about, then you should probably ask them in a private setting. Really know the person, because some of these questions really, you don't really need to know. It's not like a dire thing that you have to know. If it's just because you're curious, that's completely different. Just continue being curious. Anyway, so, the number one thing that leads to people being offended is that the people who are talking with them are uneducated about how to go about it. So hopefully with this, I enlighten you in a way on how to be a little bit more couth when speaking to somebody who is trans. Which I mean in the whole, well, not in the whole, that sounds slightly dirty. As a whole, I should say, you should speak with everybody. Speak to everybody with respect. And I guess these are just things that, because trans people, many people, I know, have gone through a lot of shit in their lives. Trans people, at least that I've met, and even myself sometimes, take things extremely offensively. Like, we jump to a conclusion that you mean something in a certain way. So, anyway, so these topics should be kind of off limits, and definitely do not even ask, well, I should say, do not ask other people these questions about somebody who is trans. So don't expect to get these answers from anybody, I should say. But anyway, so I'll get started with the list that I didn't make, but I, again, thoroughly enjoyed reading. From somebody named Matt Cayley, who wrote this list. So, these are the 10 things not to say to a trans person. Have you had the operation? So, equally offensive to that is, have you had the surgery? You know, are you pre-op? Are you post-op? Are you done? Things like that. Because most of the time there is not just one operation that somebody has done. There are many operations that go into this. There's top, bottom, you know, some people have their voice. It's not just about genitalia. The transition is so much more, like, delicate and complex than people really understand. So, though we may not have had a surgery done, doesn't mean we are in no way as quote-unquote done as other people. Some people, it's as simple as needing to come out. Some people have no want or need to change their body. More so they're in a gender dysphoria. Some people have a gender and body dysphoria where they really feel like their body is not what they are meant to be in. So therefore most of those people have surgeries. But the biggest thing is, the same as I don't judge you by what your body looks like, or, oh, well, that's a larger dude and he kind of has breasts, like he has, you know, man boobs, as you would say. You know, should I ask him if he's trans? Is he pre-op? Is he post-op? You know, it's like if we were to live our life basically wondering what everyone looked like underneath their clothes, we're judging people on a very low standard. And so that's just, that right there is a question that you probably shouldn't ask. Second question, which bathroom do you use? Most people use the bathroom that their gender is matching, meaning that if they are a female to male, then they're going to the male restroom, and if they're a male to female, then they're using the female restroom. If you literally have to ask what bathroom somebody who's transgender is using, then you have a little bit too much time on your hands to be worrying about the few seconds that we are in the bathroom, maybe with you or around you. Or to be curious enough to wonder what bathroom I'm using. I, in general, have said it a million times. That's very, very awkward for me, for you to ask what bathroom I'm using, because it's kind of like, are you keeping tally? Are you following me? Are you making sure I'm using the right bathroom? Are you, as I always say, are you writing a book? Like, do you really care that much about what I'm doing that you have to know what bathroom I'm using? I don't ask you what bathroom you're using, and I'll ask you what bathroom you intend on using. So it's probably best that you don't ask somebody who's transgender which bathroom they're using. Along with that, again, I'm pretty sure it hasn't fallen in with any of these other ones that he lists. But also, do not ask me or ask transgender people how they use the bathroom. I've had people ask me, so do you stand at the urinal? Do you sit? How does everyone else feel about that? Do people look at you weird? Do people who you work with look at you weird for standing at the urinal? For the love of God, again, if you have that much time to worry about how I use the restroom, get a fucking hobby. Do something else. Because that time that you're spending wondering if I stand and pee or sit and pee could be used to be doing something a little bit better. But anyway, so there's that too. Let's see. If you if you comb your hair in a certain way, walked a certain way, did whatever a certain way, you would be more feminine or masculine. I've had that too. I've had people tell me that I'm still feminine. They're like, I mean, I've had I really can't fucking talk tonight. I've had people say, am And I understand it was joking, so this particular person don't really care, because they're a really close friend of mine. I'll say something a certain way or act a certain way, and they'll say, right now you're being a female. Which I understand that's a joke, but I have had people tell me, well, you still really talk with your hands, or you're still kind of feminine, are you wanting to get more masculine, or telling me that I'm still not dressing masculine enough, or the things that I like, or the way that I act, or wearing my fucking pink robe. Out of anybody, you really shouldn't be telling people how to be masculine and feminine, because that's all objective. So therefore, what you think isn't masculine, I may think is. Or I may have no, there may be a very large gray area of my masculine and feminine thoughts and what I think is one or the other. So that's kind of one of those, like, well, thanks for the tip. Now let's talk about, what you could do to make you not be a dick. But anyway, so just don't give your opinion so much about what you think would make them a better man or a better woman. So yeah, so there's that. Next one. When did you decide to become transgender? That one actually is one of my favorites. When did you decide to? I understand that some people are curious about when this all kind of, came into play, especially people who've known you, especially people who have known you for most of your life, and this is kind of one of those, like, so when did you, decide to do this? Like, really think about, and I understand that's actually not horrible, but think about how you word it. That's more so the thing here. Do not say, when did you become transgender? Because most people who are transgender have been transgender their whole life. They've had this feeling, like I did, about how I never felt like I was a female. I would pray to whatever God I felt that there was at that point to please let me fall asleep and wake up and be a guy. It was most of my life. So I didn't become transgender. If you want to ask somebody when they started their transition, or when did they know the right time to come out, or when did they know at the moment that they needed to do this, that probably will come off better to them than when did you become transgender. It's like, well, when did you become a man, or when did you become a female, or when did you decide to be one of these two? As far as I'm concerned, it's not really a decision, because if I could decide to be anything, honestly, I would love nothing more than to, while I'm in the body that I'm in and everything, that it would be easier if I could just be a female. But I can't. And I've tried, and I can't. So anyway, so there's that. Next one is another one of my favorites. You pass really well. Again, that's a compliment. Passing really is an important thing to some people. A simple, you look nice today, or, I like the look, or, oh, well, that, like somebody told me today, they were talking about how my little bit of facial, well, not a little bit, that's actually a fucking lot, but anyway, my facial hair, they were saying that it's a good look, and they're like, well, are you going to grow it out? And that I took as a compliment, and that's one of those, like, things, and I've had people come to me one-on-one and say, if it wasn't for you telling me that you were transgender, I wouldn't have known. And that is cool. But having people who say, well, you actually pass really well, or, oh, you really do look like a guy. It's like, oh, cool, I understand you're trying to give a compliment. But again, that's one of those, really think about how you say it and judge the person that you're saying it to. Not judge, but you know what I'm saying. Next one. I thought you'd be a monster, but you're just a normal person. I've had something kind of like that. It's not been, luckily, phrased such in that way. But I have had people say, oh, I thought you were going to completely change, I thought your attitude was going to change, and I thought you were going to be different and all that. And so I don't think people realize that I'm not changing who I am, like, in here. I don't have to get all deep. But, it's really just outer things that I'd be changing. And I want to apologize if my camera is bouncing a bunch. I'm trying to hold it one hand and I keep switching between hands, so it kind of does a little bounce. But anyway, next one. This is also one of my favorites. How do you have sex? I've been asked that at work before. Again, I'm not going to list where I work, but I've been asked that where I work. Where somebody thinks, again, I understand it's curiosity, but this is the thing. There's something called Google. Go on Google, type it in, go watch a porn, go look at some pictures, get a book from the library, do something, but don't ask me how I have sex, because even if I was living as a female, even if I decided to live as a female, as people like to say, I decided, would you really ask me how I have sex? No, because it would offend people. So I would suggest that, again, go to Google, look it up, do some research, date a trans person, see what it's like. But don't just come out and ask, especially not at work, and especially not in a personal, like a public setting. If you really want to know, and again, that person knows that you're curious and has told you that it's okay to ask questions, go right at it. But do not ask somebody that you don't really know. Next one. I can still see the woman and man/man in you. That's one that actually pisses me off. It hasn't happened to me, luckily, because I've been blessed that my whole life I've been kind of a boyish girl, so I was confused as a male most of my life. But I think it's more so for, at least that I've seen, male to females, because there's features that male to females have a really hard time covering up. Things such as an Adam's apple. I understand everybody has a technical Adam's apple, but especially thinner females, male to females, they have a hard time hiding that. And people who have to run their mouth and make fun of trans people are like, well, you know, like, I can totally still see their Adam's apple, you know, or, oh, you know, totally still has man-ish shoulders, or, oh, you know what, I can still see this, and I can still see this, and blah, 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 about things that they can see in that person that still is reminiscent of the sex that they were before, or sex or gender of what they were before. Like, seriously, again, have a little bit more couth, okay? Everyone has things about themselves that they hate, and there are things about transgender people who they really try to cover up or make up for, or whatever. And by pointing that shit out, I don't know if you think that you're being observant, because I'm pretty sure they know about it too. You're not pointing anything out to them that they don't already know, and instead you're just being a dick. So therefore, if you want to be a dick, then continue to be a dick. But again, one of these days, whether it be a trans male who gets tired of you running your mouth, or even a trans female who gets tired of you running your mouth, again, you tend to forget, and this was taught to me a long time ago when I was in college in Philadelphia. Behind every transgender male to female, or transvestite or crossdresser, all the different categories, not saying that they're all the same, so don't misquote me, but through all of them, there is somebody who has probably been made fun of most of their life. And the thing is, again, I'm not one of these men are stronger than female kind of things, but men are normally built a little bit stronger than females most of the time. Therefore, you are picking on somebody who's been made fun of most of their life and still probably has that same physique and same strength as a quote-unquote male would, who are probably going to end up whooping your ass more than what you would expect them to. So I would recommend that you keep your opinions to yourself about what you think they do or don't pass as, and continue to jerk off to your tranny porn, because sadly, most of the time, the people who run their mouth about trans people and make fun of them are secretly have a attraction to them. So, but anyway, second to last one. Are you afraid that people will hate you or want to hurt you? Again, that's one of those, I understand people asking it, but again, you have to think about how I try not to think about it. Honestly, because I'm a bigger dude, and most of the time people don't mess with me. People don't want to mess with me. They'll say shit to me, and they'll yell shit out of the car at me, but most of the time people will not come up and say anything to me or make fun of me to my face. Um, but I do think about if somebody was. That's why I was so upset that time at work where that dude was running his mouth and telling everybody that I was using the male restroom. I wasn't so much worried about coworkers, but I was worried about the customers, about the people who could hear it, who I could be in the bathroom by myself with them, and they could probably beat the shit out of me, and nobody would know, and I'd be laying in the bathroom, probably passed out for hours, before anyone would fucking notice. So yes, we do get scared, and even the toughest, hardest acting trans person who says that they're not afraid of anything, deep down inside are afraid that somebody is going to do something just because they're trying to live as who they are. So the thing is, don't bring it up to them, because it might make them panic, might make them continue to think about it, or it might be something that they don't actually think about, that they actually feel safe. And by you bringing it up, yeah, it may be good that now they may be a little bit more aware, but it could also scare the hell out of them. So anyway, so last one. What does being a man or woman mean to you? Again, I can understand somebody asking that, but at the same time, you would not ask a cis male or female, which, by the way, if you don't know what that means, it means naturally born, continuing to stay the same of the sex that they were born into. You don't ask cis people that. You don't say, hey, so what does being masculine mean to you? Or, oh, what does feminine mean to you? You don't ask quote unquote normal people that. So don't ask us, because you're basically, I guess, trying to pick our brains about why we define ourselves as one thing and you define yourself as another. But anyway, so I thought that was a pretty good list. And anyway, so those are the ones that I agree with and that I like. So, and this video is almost 30 minutes long. So, it's 22. I over-exaggerate and I round up. But this is going to take a while for me to load. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And tomorrow, I'm wanting to do one on, do a video, well, maybe not tomorrow. I'm not going to promise tomorrow, but I'll say tomorrow. I'm wanting to do one on etiquette for non-trans people to trans people. So just other little tips and tricks on how to go about talking with somebody who's trans, and not hurting their feelings. It's kind of sad that you have to do videos like this to tell people not to hurt people's feelings, or how to. My main advice, I have to say, and this will be the end, treat everybody with respect, whether they're trans, bi, gay, lesbian, straight, cis, trigender, bigender, no gender, gender, whatever the fuck the hell that shit's called. There's a bunch of things. Just treat people like people. Treat them like you know that they're alive too, and that they have to continue through their day the same way you do. And just do not set out to hurt people's feelings. And think before you speak. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you later.